My winter garden is looking the best it's ever been, only because I changed my mindset. So a while back, we did a video on growing some winter crops, and look how beautiful they look. And our winter beds are looking absolutely stunning, and I can't wait to share that with you. So let's get into today's video. The whole time I thought a winter garden was boring. I actually thought just let your winter gardens rest, and when late winter comes at early spring, just get it going again. But I was seeing a lot of people saying, don't let your raised beds rest, always keep them active. I did some more research, and you know what? There are so many things you can actually grow that actually look beautiful. So you do get crops that are colorful, and there is flowers that you can plant that will still bring in some pollinators but also look attractive. A lot of people think that winter gardens look boring, but my winter gardens for the first time are looking the best they've ever been, and I'm actually enjoying doing gardening in winter. But what did we actually grow in our seedling trays, and what have we put in our winter gardens? Let's get going. So this raised bed has performed very well, and I have gone and planted so many crops in this bed, obviously companion planting, and it's amazing how much you can actually fit in a raised bed. But I've got things like, let's go take a look. Got things like lettuce, all different varieties of lettuce. So I've got, I don't even know what this is called, but I've been harvesting. You can see you harvest from the outside and it'll just keep on giving in the middle. This is, I think, my iceberg lettuce. I've been harvesting another variety of lettuce here. Some spinach, all different types of spinach, and Chinese cabbage. We've got a bok choy there, and something was actually eating my bok choy, and I used my biodome method, which is absolutely helping in this weather. It is amazing what something like this can create for a plant. There it is. I think that is my spinach, my black baby magic spinach from True Leaf Seeds as well. And we've got all of our bok choys that have all germinated, and we've got some beautiful flowers in between. Look at these violas. They are absolutely gorgeous. You get different color violas, which then brings color to your garden. So that is awesome. We've got some red lettuce here, and in between I've actually got bok choy that I've just thrown. They're starting to come up nicely. And then on this side we've got the leeks. Leeks take very, very long to actually grow, and they get nice and thick. So I'm very happy that they are taking some size to them. And then over here we've got our mustard spinach and our spinach black magic babies. I've already gone and taken quite a few of them and put them in the ground. That's what these guys are. So I had to thin some of the seedlings out when I put them in the ground. They've taken and they will survive. So that was quite a nice experimental thing that I've done. And that's what I've just been doing, is anything that I need to really take off, I put them in these little biodomes. They have literally quadrupled in size. So you can see how big that one is compared to what is in the ground. So I was trying to experiment to see if these domes do work, and they do. So what I've done here is that I've left some domes off of my seedlings, and I've put some domes on the others. Look how big these guys are. They're about 3 times bigger than the ones that are in the ground. And then what I've also done is that I took the dome off of this Chinese cabbage. But what happened was the snails got to it and ate all the leaves. So I took all the outer leaves off, put the dome back on, and they just keep on growing. And all of these were grown from seeds. They were so small, and then I just kept on watching them. I think that is one of the best things when you actually grow from a seed. You just see the magic happen from a little seed to watching it grow in a seedling tray, transplanting them out into your raised beds, and then just watching them grow into magnificent plants where you can actually harvest and eat from them. So I've been harvesting a lot from the Chinese cabbage. I've been making things like omelets and stir fries, and there's just so much that I've planted in this raised beds that I've actually had to take some and give a lot to my rabbits and my chickens. And that is why I actually grow quite a lot of the green leafy stuff. Is we've got animals, and it is just so expensive to go into the shops and buy all of this every week. So I've not had to buy any spinach. The only thing I've had to buy for my animals, besides their pellets and their food, is cabbage. I'll be the first to admit that I am the worst person to ask for advice when it comes to broccoli, cauliflower, and cabbage. I cannot grow it. I get to a point, and then all of a sudden it gets attacked. So I keep saying this year after year, I won't give up. I'm thinking of dedicating one of my raised beds and actually putting a shade cloth dome over it so that none of these moths can get to it, and hopefully that method will work. But I'm not giving up. The perfect time to actually grow things like bok choy, winter crops like lettuce and bok choy, and that when you put in your beds, you'll be able to harvest it quite often during winter. They don't bolt as much when the season starts heating up and it's like in the middle or the end of summer. My lettuce and my bok choy, the two main crops that I really love during summer, they bolt. I'm going to give the garden this afternoon, well, not too late because it gets cold, but maybe around about 2 o'clock, give the garden a nice water in, and then just go around with my water jug and just throw this by the roots of all of my herbs. It's the Beyond Soil Life sea bricks, and I am so convinced this is the reason my garden is looking amazing. So this is sea bricks, and it basically simulates the soil, enhances nutrient uptake, and yeah, it's just, I can just see a difference in my garden. Okay, so the peas, the super snaps, you can see I've already gone and planted one out in the raised beds on that side, and these two are going to go into this raised beds. So look how beautiful they are. Let's see the root system. Okay, definitely ready to be planted out. Look at this root system. Oh, they're definitely ready to be planted out. I'm going to plant them somewhere here if I can get through. So I got my first snap pea here and the other one in the corner, and they will just nicely trellis up of this very, very empty trellis that we've got here. I have beets. I'm going to take maybe 2 of these trays, like little pods, out and direct sow them into the raised beds. I'm not going to thin anything out. Beets do not like their roots tampered with. I'm just going to put them right here. It will survive still, I know that. So I've got the beets in the raised beds. There is some leeks. I'm going to just make sure that before I transplant my leeks, they are about a pencil thickness. I don't want to be taking this out and putting it in my raised beds. Nothing will happen bad to them if you do that. I actually went and transplanted a whole bunch of leeks about this size in my raised beds, and they are starting to fill up now. So yeah, this is my winter garden. Go start your winter garden, because promise you guys, this is something that I thought was not possible during winter, and for the first time in winter this year I stepped out of my comfort zone, and I am so happy I did. And go take a look at this video. It shows you how we actually got our winter garden going, or take a look at this video where you can actually start your spring seeds today in order for you to get a head start. I'll see you in one of those videos.